Greg Norman is a professional golfer and a prosperous entrepreneur from Australia who has business interests in multiple enterprises. He is famed for being one of the best athlete entrepreneurs in numerous business fields. Although Norman is above 60, he is actively involved in business and is better known for winning 91 international golf tournaments. Welcome to 24 Golf. Today, we will look at how Greg Norman built his incredible net worth and business empire. Before we do, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Let's get started. Greg Norman was born on 10th February 1955 in Queensland, Australia, and is also known as the Great White Shark. As an adolescent, he enjoyed sports, and he was especially good at rugby, cricket, and even tried to become a professional surfer. He got interested in golf from his mother, Toini, who had a solitary handicap and made him caddy for herself at Virginia Golf Club Brisbane. Norman became a professional golfer in 1975 when he was 20 and served as an assistant for Billy McWilliam at Beverley Park Golf Club, Sydney. During this time, his passion for playing golf kindled. In 1977, Norman, an avid golfer, joined the European Tour, and the same year, he got his first victory in the European event Martini International held at BLAIRGOWRIE Club, Scotland. This was an excellent start to his golfing career and a positive sign of achieving a great thing. From 1980 to 1990, Norman was at the peak of his golfing career and was officially ranked as the world's #1 golfer for 331 weeks. Although he played golf until 2009, he is best known for triumphing 91 tournaments, including 20 PGA events and 2 major Open championships, 1986 and 1993. In 2001, Norman was a member of the World Golf Hall of Fame following 80% votes, the highest voting ratio of any golfer. He was a runner-up in 8 major championship tournaments and had 30 finishes in the top 10. At the end of his golfing career, he started suffering from hip injuries. He undergone knee surgeries, and he unofficially retired from golf in 2009. Greg Norman constantly earned more than $1 million every year from golf tournaments. Norman was the leading golf tour earner for 3 successful years: 1986, 1990, and 1995. Norman was the first proficient golfer in golf history to make more than $10 million in his career. To date, he has reached over $15 million in his career earnings. The transition into Business Tycoon. Many athletes do not choose business until their professional career is over, but that was not the actual case for Norman, as he had already ventured into many businesses well before he retired from the golf circuit unit. He first entered the firm in 1987. However, he did not form the Greg Norman Company until 1993, initially named Great White Shark Enterprises. He changed the name after he quit IMG, his ex-management group. The Greg Norman Company is headquartered in West Palm Beach, Florida. Norman's nickname inspired the original name for the company on the golfing circuit as the Shark. He gained this name through his golfing style and because the shark is a native mammal of Australia's birthplace. The logo of the company is a shark and was designed by Reebok. Even after renaming the company, they have retained its shark logo. Norman's marriage life. Greg Norman enjoyed tremendous professional success with the help of his family. In the earlier years of his golfing profession, he dated Sue Barker, a former British professional tennis player who turned as a presenter. Later, he met Laura Andrassy, a flight attendant he later married in July 1981. The couple was blessed with a son and a daughter, Gregory Norman Jr. and Morgan Lee. Unfortunately, in 2006, after 25 years of wedding life, the couple divorced, and a settlement amount of $105 million was given to Andrassy. Following his divorce from Andrassy, Norman married his second wife, Chris Evert, world's #1 tennis player, on Paradise Island in 2008. Their wedlock survived for slightly over a year, split in 2009. Norman married his third wife, KUTNER, a year later, an interior designer. The wedding took place on Necker Island while Norman's son served as his best man. The couple stays married to this day. Though Norman is an Australian, he made his home at Jupiter Island, Florida. In 1991, Pricey Pads reported that Norman planned to demolish his house and reconstruct it in the modern era for his beloved family. He purchased this historic, magnificent manor built in 1902 for $4.9 million. First, Norman attempted to sell the home for a whopping $65 million and later dropped the cost to $55 million. When he couldn't find an appropriate buyer even after 2 years, he demolished and reconstructed instead. The newly constructed home was finished in the early year of 2020, with 32,000 square feet of a living area between the main cottage, guest cottage, pool house, and boathouse. The cellar area in the main cabin is around 5,000 square feet, along with a fun zone with 2 wine cellars and a movie theater. The site has a tennis court and berthing place to house an approximately 150-foot yacht. In January 2021, Greg Norman and his third wife Kiki tried to sell the mansion for $59.9 million, but after several months, they found a buyer for $40 million. Food and drink industry. Norman holds 3 firms in the food and drinks enterprise: Greg Norman Australian Grill, Greg Norman Australian Prime, and Greg Norman Estates. Greg Norman Australian Grill is a good dining cafe with an Australian composition located in Barefoot Beach, South Carolina. The restaurant has a diverse menu of meat and fish plates that use excellent local ingredients. Norman even owns a wine company, Greg Norman Estate, a label that has drawn the attention of wine lovers. This unit produces several wine varietals from Argentina and Australia. Greg Norman Estates has a more than 50% market share of all the premium Australian wines. Norman's other ventures. Norman is involved in a wide range of ventures. Some of them are partly owned by the Normans Group, and a few firms are partnerships. 2 of Greg's primary industries are GPS Industries and Troon Golf. Norman's collaboration with GPS was formed in 2004. Norman partnered with Kohlberg & Company to obtain Troon Golf, the largest golf management company with over 250 courses worldwide. Norman not only invested in his new ventures, but he became the brand's ambassador. Norman is a brand ambassador for GPS Industry and a brand ambassador for Cobra Golf, Omega, and Qantas. He has been associated with them since 1976 as a brand ambassador. Greg also works with Alchemy Gold by being a primary investment business partner. The main focus of partnering with Alchemy Gold is finding investors to support startup sports. Though Norman has focused mainly on golf and his ventures, he also has immersed himself in other professions, like writing and broadcasting. Norman released a book titled The Way of the Shark in 2006. He was even the lead commentary for Fox Sports alongside Joe Buck for the USGA's championships from April 2014 to January 2016. Clothing and eyewear line. Norman started his clothing line in 1992, which he titled the Greg Norman Collection. It mainly contains golf-inspired apparel for both women and men. It was a successful business for the athlete as it earned $100 million in 2005 annual sales. This was his first venture into clothing, and later in 2011, he started his new venture, Greg Norman Eyewear, which sells a variety of sunglasses specially designed to use on the golf course. Norman teamed with Aspects Eyewear and has the United States distribution rights for his eyewear products. As of December 2021, Norman's net worth is expected to be $400 million. Future plans. Norman has initiated some plans where he strives to drastically decrease his $400 million net worth and desires to head back to his home in Australia. The former golfer, who transformed his sporting triumph into business interests, handling restaurants, wine, apparel, real estate, and even a wake park, desires to lessen his portfolio from 13 companies to some 5 or 6 companies. Norman made some significant moves in early 2021 after a bumpy 2020. He sold 2 of his primary properties in the U.S., the $77 million in Florida and his $55 million Colorado ranch, an 11,600-acre farm known as Seven Lakes Ranch. He set the ranch by obtaining 3 adjoining land properties and combining them. The site features a 14,000-square-foot leading club, wellness center, and spa. It's evident that Norman has attained a point in life where he is done with overtapping wealth and fame and is now trying to fine-tune his personal life. As one gets older, they tend to balance their professional and personal life gracefully. The things he liked 25 years ago make him feel, why does he even have them now? Norman stated. Norman didn't specify which industries he was planning to sell. The former golfer appears to focus on his great white shark logo, ensuring its legacy. Norman also looks like to go back to his home in Australia and leave the United States. He says he misses the smell of Australia. What do you feel about this golfer who made success both in his golfing and business career? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching.